Hi, can you hear me? Oh, there you go.
Hi.
Well, good morning. How are you?
Just great.
013.
Oh yes. The two is right here because we had 12 days in school, so I'm making 110 and two ones.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Well, just to remind you, I got your recording, okay? So
Okay.
I'll record a little bit on this here for us, okay?
Okay.
Well, Carrie, it was awesome having you in the program. And so it was really fun having you. So I just want to ask you some questions about kind of your experience with it and stuff like that. So kind of talk to me about where were you before you started working with me?
Before I was just kind of getting by and um kind of just eating whatever, whenever, boredom, comfort, not really paying attention to um the just at that moment, even though afterwards it was not great. Um, and just felt like I had no energy, just, I don't know, kind of flailing a little bit.
Okay. And what were you kind of skeptical about before starting with the program, and kind of what made you decide to move forward with it?
I just kind of came to a point where I was like, I had enough and um, I just needed to make a change with everything that was going on. COVID had started already and those kind of things, and just felt like things were kind of spiraling a little bit out of control, and I wasn't, in the best health to tackle all of that. And so I thought if I could, I have control of this thing. I don't have control really of COVID. I have control of how I can react to it. And
Sure.
so if I can control this, then it would give me a little bit of my power back
Absolutely.
and help me give me more energy and more confidence to tackle other things in life, basically.
Yeah. Did you feel that it did that for you?
I do. I do. I think at the beginning, it was tricky. It was kind of one more thing to do. But when I kind of gave myself grace, like you need to learn this first. You're not expected to just be able to do it and know it right away, but gave myself grace to trust in the process and, all of those things. Like, I know, your stuff. I know your passion. I know those things, and that's awesome, but they won't do anything unless I kind of embrace it.
Sure.
So when I got to that point, then I found it extremely helpful.
Good. And so what would you say your biggest breakthrough from the program was?
Just being more aware of the things that I put in my body, like uh, really noticing like fats and carbs and those kind of proteins and those kind of things. And once I figured that out, um, realizing how I felt after that. So just like how my body felt, energy, those kind of things. And then if I slipped, which I did slip a few times, then I really noticed a difference in my body. And then listening to my body, like, oh, I'm craving something really sweet right now. I must have had not enough of this because I wasn't balanced because I'm craving this. So
Okay.
learning that system, I think, was absolutely the most. And then, well, that and learning how to kind of give myself a little bit of grace
Yeah.
too, stuff like that, for
I think
sure.
that that's probably one of the biggest problems most people end up running into with any sort of problem or any sort of like program like this, is to give themselves grace, because it's a
Right.
learning experience that you have to go through. So, and you did a really good job with that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So what were your most specific goals that you did reach, or what were like kind of what did you get out of the program?
So for me, um, it was a lot at once. And so for me to just be able to say, okay, I'm going to focus really on this one main thing first and really understand it and really um, just really do it, that was for me. So I kind of took the whole thing and found like a specific focus. And then and then worked on that. And then just to see the success from that, gave me, like, inspired me basically to then kind of go back and pick up a little something else and just add a little bit more instead
Good.
of all at once.
Yeah. And what were some of your specific results you got from the program?
You know, basically, I wasn't necessarily on it for the scale. I was on it for how I physically felt, having energy, not being lethargic and tired all the time. And then, you know, scale and everything else was just a benefit. But mainly it was just how I feel. And it was awesome. It
Good.
was awesome. Yeah.
Cool. And so
Yes.
what would you say to someone like who would you recommend a program like this to?
I actually think this program can work for anybody because there's so many different like tiers to it. So like the support groups were really helpful. Like we met once a month or once a week, and there were people in the group that the chat that I was in, that were at all different levels. Like one of the gals was like, "Oh, I got this exercise thing down," and so she really had no problem at all with the exercise part of it, getting the cardio in and the strength training in. Like I said, I focused more on the dietary and how I felt inside. And so we were all at different levels. And so I think that support really helped. And then once you understand that you can really take it to how it fits you, instead of, like I said, there's different proponents. And some people might be like, yes, let's do this. I'm going to do everything and go. And then for myself, that seemed too much. I still was able to adapt and like learn a ton. So I
Yeah.
think really it's good for any level, for anybody.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool, Carrie. Well, Carrie, it was awesome having you in the program. You did an
Yes.
amazing job with it. So I'm super proud of all the work that you did with it and what you learned from it. So
Yes. And I think I'm most excited that I can still continue to learn from it. So my learning is not done. I get to go back and refresh and review and add more and more pieces all the time. So it's pretty
awesome.
exciting. Yeah.
Cool.